please join me at One Hopeful Place. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Welcome to phase 2.
Virtual hug.
Virtual hug.
Good
Virtual
to see
hug.
you, Lisa Jo. Bonnie.
Hey,
so
ladies.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Larry, good to see you
Hi.
again.
Welcome, welcome.
I'm Joyce Gossam, obviously. And with me is everyone who is now in the Zoom virtual meeting room, waiting to see what's going on here at One Hopeful Place. We hope you'll tell us all kinds of great stories about what the transformation has been in this building, as well as the construction of the kitchen. So show me what you've got.
Sure. Well, we'll take you to the bunk room. I know Impact we couldn't have done the bunk room without the Impact kitchen.
Right.
So the bunk room is where the folks will sleep.
Excellent. Oh,
Right
wow.
now we're using this for cold night shelter. So we have a total of 50 bunks.
Wow.
And so because it's cold,
Yes.
we had cold night last night and we will have cold night tonight. And so the bunks, if you want to come, RJ, and kind of show how they are, each of them have little cubbies that the folks, because eventually, obviously, the guys will all move over here, and these will be assigned. This will be somebody's little living space.
Right.
And so they've got little cubbies, and they have lights, and they have plug-ins that they can charge phones or, whatever they're doing.
Right.
And so super great plug. We need, we'll tell you what else we need, but while I'm thinking about it, anybody that wants to buy some twin sheets, fitted sheets for the bottom,
Okay.
please. We
Okay.
need lots of them.
Good.
So
That's
yeah.
good to know.
But,
This is
but yeah, so
fabulous.
there's 50 of these. It was more economical for John Corbin, the contractor,
Mm-hmm.
to build these than it was to actually purchase anything.
Okay.
Even the metal bunks or anything. And then
Right.
we were able to get such neat features with it too.
Right.
So,
Wow. And what are the cages? What are
oh,
these?
this is so for cold night. Lots of the homeless have pets, and so we don't want to discourage anyone from from coming in out of the cold because of their pets. So we have.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah. So I think they even have next door. They even have a cat, don't they?
Yes,
I
they do.
remember seeing this when it was nothing. I
Yeah.
mean, it was just an empty building with holes in the walls. And because I was on the site visit when in 2018,
Yes.
when we came out to take a look at it. And I remember then thinking, okay, you're going to do what
Right.
with this building?
Right. And so eventually, obviously, the goal is the guys that are living in phase 1 will move over here.
Okay.
We will increase the number of people, the number of men. We will then have a big old cleanup and do a bunch of stuff to make that where women would want to stay.
Okay.
And then there'll be 10 women can stay, and we don't have as many homeless women.
Right.
So it should be okay.
Okay.
And then next year for cold night, hopefully we'll have everybody housed except for some onesie twosies and that sort of thing, and then we'll just integrate them in where we can.
Right.
And we can either they can sleep in here or they can sleep in the open area if they're women over on the other side.
Oh, that's
So,
great. That's amazing.
So it'll work great.
And so this is dining room area where
Yes.
people can gather and have meals. Well, let's see the kitchen.
All right. Yoo-hoo. See our sign? Yay.
Oh, yes.
So yes, this is
Thank you for doing that. That's great. Oh, wow.
ta-da!
Oh, my gosh.
This is what Impact, the impact of Impact was.
This is fabulous. Wow.
Yeah. So it's a commercial grade kitchen.
Okay.
It is. We are still waiting. Bonnie knows more than I as far as that. But we don't have a certificate of occupancy.
Okay.
Don't say that out loud because we're obviously staying in here for cold night, but they let us.
Right.
But because we're not allowed to use this kitchen yet.
Okay.
And so we've got, it's technical, it's the fire suppression stuff.
Yes.
It's the last piece. And once that's all put together, we'll have a certificate of occupancy, and hopefully by then Cold Night will be over.
Right.
And we'll be able to then start the transition.
And do meals.
And do,
And
yeah.
have people
Yeah.
living here.
And obviously the goal with the commercial kitchen is not only to be able to feed the folks that are living here, but clearly to be able to do some training and help folks
Right.
to have a skill.
Right, right.
And then maybe even do something like, you know, have a catering day or so, you know, one day a week where the residents cook and the community can come in and buy lunch or something, you know,
Oh,
just
that'd be
something for
great.
sustainability
Yeah.
and to get everybody involved.
Sure.
So,
And-
you know, the sky's the limit, and that's what's been cool, the
Yes.
really cool stuff. And then with our partnership with Bridgeway now, they've got great ideas, and so it's exciting.
And that's a new partnership. Let's go sit and talk about that.
Yeah, we're super excited about that.
Because Bonnie and Larry, how long have you guys been associated with the project?
Since October.
Okay, so relatively new.
Yes.
Yes.
How did that come about and what is your role?
It came about through Ted Corcoran, Fort Walton Chamber. He approached us and said, we are ready to move One Hopeful Place to the next phase, the next level. And we want to know if Bridgeway is interested in helping us do that. And that's what we do at Bridgeway. That's our charter, that's our mission, is to help our community. And when someone asks, our mantra is to say, how can we say yes? And so I spoke to Larry and our team, because it certainly takes a team, and with the Board of Community Solutions of the Emerald Coast, we said yes, we would like to be a part of what's happening at One Hopeful Place and to help One Hopeful Place get to the next level and beyond, because there is a tremendous vision of everything that we can do out here, and that's something that we want to be a part of and to help. And so we had to gear up pretty quickly because Cold Night came, and so we have had a lot of help. There's been complexities, but we have overcome. We've been flexible and we have persevered, and tremendous support from Lisa and her team and Larry and his team. And so it is a true partnership, and it just shows what committed, passionate people can do. None of this would be possible without the community, to include Impact 100. You can't put a price on a life, and we save lives by having One Hopeful Place here. Gentleman in a wheelchair, he was on the street for 4 years, and just today, when I'm coming here today, he is so full of gratitude and said that One Hopeful Place has saved his life.
Oh, wow.
And he is not alone. And so as the expansion, having the kitchen available to be able to feed up to 50 men is just unbelievable and just so generous. And we're excited and very humbled to be a part of this mission here at One Hopeful Place.
Wow, what a story. That's why we do what we do at Impact, right, Lisa Jo?
Yes, yes.
In fact, Lisa Jo, weren't you president in 2018?
Yes, I was. Yes, yes. I couldn't participate in any of this.
That's right. You were president when
I was
we
president
did
when
the
the
site
award was
visit and
when the award was
awarded
given.
the grant. Yes. And so you've been here and you've seen it from the very beginning, and you've watched the transformation of the building and seen the impact on the lives of the individuals. And so now with the partnership with Bridgeway, I think that the resources that will be available will be expanded just unbelievably because of the services that you guys provide at Bridgeway.
Bridgeway was already out here when we opened the medical clinic, and I think a lot of the Impact ladies came out when we were opening the medical clinic, and so that it was just a natural transition to partner fully with them completely.
Yeah.
So you know, we've kind of revamped what's happening. So Bonnie is our executive director, and we will have a new site manager, hopefully in the next month or so.
Yes.
And hire some folks to help our residents do better as far as getting training and all the help that they need, all the support that they need. So, and that's where Larry comes in with those folks. So he's.
And as we move forward, we have phase 3. This is 2. There's another one, phase 3, which is the administrative building.
Okay.
That'll be our next focus, and that will be set up to where our community partners, HHA, Career Source, Social Security, DCF with food stamps and benefits, the housing agencies, all of those folks can come, have a place where they can have, they'll give them a drawer,
Sure.
they can have their things, they don't have to tote, and they can come, we'll have a schedule, so the folks that come here will know
that's
on
great.
Tuesdays, Social Security, on Wednesdays, DCF, and be able to set appointments so they can get a full service here.
Right.
With the expansion of the telehealth services, we've provided, now of course we've had some changes here lately, but we'll be continuing to provide psychiatric care on site, substance abuse programming on site, mental health treatment on site, medical care on site. All these things can be done. Our goal is to be a one-stop where all the needs that you have can be met here. Looking towards having a continual involvement with the housing agencies so we can, because this is a stop along the way.
Sure.
And so the permanent housing is the ultimate goal.
Right.
And so working with folks on that. We just were looking at some video this week. There's some folks out west came up, they call them Conestoga huts. And they're shaped just like the old Conestoga
Yes,
wagons.
yes.
And they can build these shelters for $2,500. They're insulated, they're lockable, and that's a big part of this, is that people have their, as you went through the bunk room, I'm sure you saw, there's
Right.
duffel bags, there's
Right.
backpacks, there's, cases where everything you have to take with you. And so when you're down to just that little bit of property, you don't want it stolen.
Right.
And so that's a key, is to have a lockable storage. Also to have an address. You have to get jobs, you have to have an address.
Right.
You have to have a phone.
Right.
We'll be setting up computer workstations over here so people can go on and we'll do our classes for resume writing, job search, all of those things that you need to transition on. Even if, you have to file nowadays everything for Social Security's online, disability's online,
Right.
food stamps online, it's all
Right,
online.
right.
So we'll be teaching computer literacy. We've already begun that next door. We've set up, we brought in some real desks. and we have some real desks over there. We've got, some real computers that we got donated by Bridgeway, some laptops. And so the guys can set them up, and be working. And so we're excited for the future, to what the potential can be. And as we mentioned earlier with the cold night, as more and more folks live here, to be fewer and fewer, we believe, on the streets. And that is ultimately what the goal of One Hopeful Place was started for years and years
That's
ago.
right.
That was the idea, is to get people, and if you see it, it's all across the nation. The concern, of course, is with the pandemic that we've been living through, the abeyance of the evictions, and when all that happens, at whatever point, there's
Right.
liable to be a huge spike, and we'll see it. We've been seeing this year at Bridgeway where we've continued to provide pro bono services to folks that were in the middle of a course of treatment and then lost their job due to the pandemic. So many of our people in our community rely on the services that got shut down, the restaurant industry, the service industry, all those things. And so we've seen that impact in our community. And so we're excited for the future, and we really appreciate the partnership with Impact100. It's pretty neat that it was started local over in Pensacola,
Yes.
and that it grew this way. And when you see what Pensacola has grown to be,
Yes.
they give away millions every year. And it's the same thing. It started with a grassroots group of ladies in Pensacola, and now it's grown over this way. And so the fact y'all give away, $400 and something $1,000. So that's when
The year of the pandemic. That's
Yes.
what's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yes.
That's
We
what's
did last
so
year.
awesome. Last
the
year was
ladies
so great.
that donate to that are active members of that provide off the wish lists from those. That's such, it's such true involvement. at all levels.
Yeah.
And it's that pooling. It's good. You know, what can my $1,000 do?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you pool it with a couple hundred other ladies in the area, it can do a lot.
Exactly.
As we have seen right here. I mean, I'm sure you noticed, but that's Vulcan equipment.
Right.
That's top of the line equipment that's going to last forever.
Yeah.
I mean, so those resources were put to good use. It's not something that's going to be in 10 years be gone. I mean, this is going to outlive me, I think. It's, you know, that equipment is good equipment, and that's commercial equipment, and it gets people accustomed because if you go into a commercial kitchen, you have to know how to use that equipment.
That's right.
You know, like next door we have a stove. Okay, that's kind of neat. You can cook on it. But you go into any restaurant in town, that's not what you're going to see.
No.
Right? So you're going to see what we have here. So by buying that level of equipment, could we have gotten by with something a little different? Sure we could. But not for the ultimate goal. Because you want people when they go into the workplace, oh, I don't know how to do this. I know how to light this thing. I know how to
Right.
relight this thing. I know how to use these. You know, and use it safely.
Right.
You know, so again, the ladies pooling their resources and doing what they do, that's so important to this community, and it's so appreciated. I know we've put in, Bridgeway has a number of times, and we will keep pitching until we get one. Right? I've been out there several times like, oh, I mean, yay for the others, but you know, but it's never dissuades us. We go every year to the, you know, the orientation, and you know,
Good.
we'll keep pitching because, you know, there's everyone that has received an award, it's a worthy cause, and it's a
Yes.
needed cause, and it
Yeah.
serves our community. And it's neat because, I mean, we have a little niche that we're in, but y'all are looking across the board.
That's
I mean,
right.
it's such a big picture
That's right.
of what's important. Right down, I mean, the arts are important,
Right.
right? And the ballet,
That's
and
right.
all those, I mean, those are important. And so the Impact 100, the vision that the ladies have, is truly what we would call holistic. You know, the whole person and all aspects of life are important to being well-rounded and to being a well-rounded community, being able to meet the needs of those here. So we just very much appreciate the partnership.
We need you as a spokesperson.
You don't have to do anything. You just did your speech.
I don't have to do
I think
anything.
everybody's writing checks right now.
Well, we've got some questions from the women who are in the session. They wanted to know how many people you expect to have in the shelter tonight.
We have been averaging around 30 to 35.
Okay.
Last night we did not have that many, but we averaged that. And this is our first year working with Cold Night, and so what we understand, there is some ebbs and flows, but because the temperatures will be so low, we do expect probably 30 to 35 folks here tonight.
Right. And I think someone said earlier that perhaps the numbers aren't as high as they've been in the past because people are receiving the stimulus checks, and so they're able to stay in a hotel.
Yes.
They're able to afford that. And so
Yes.
that's helpful as well, and it takes it puts less of a strain and a burden on the resources that are here. Someone else wanted to know, still with people, how many people on average do you serve each year? Do you know?
For Cold Night or
Just in
Just in
general.
general, the men that have been here. The fire marshal allows us to have 10 men. We normally have 14 or 15 regularly.
17 next door.
Regularly
Okay.
next door. Some are just there for a short time. Some have actually been there for a long time because we don't have a time limit on when they can leave. Some of these folks have had things going on in their lives. Either they're ill or they have issues that make it a little bit more difficult to find permanent housing for them. And then, of course, once COVID hit, a lot of things slowed down for being able to do to help with getting folks in housing.
Right.
But things are improving. We're getting folks back into housing now, and a lot of that is the Bridgeway folks helping us so
Just
much.
since October, we've had 4 gentlemen, two successfully reunite with family.
Oh, great.
And 2 got independent housing.
Oh, wonderful.
So,
But
yeah.
we also have a
That's
day
great.
program 3 days a week, so that brings, that's
about
another
20
level of
people a
service.
day.
Okay.
About 20 people a day, we have that 3 days a week. And you can see some of our volunteers are
Yes.
setting up for cold
Yeah.
night right now.
That's great.
Again, we could not do what we do without our volunteers, both for next door and cold night.
That's
So-
wonderful. That's amazing. Let's see. How has COVID, and you mentioned that a little bit, how has COVID affected One Hopeful Place and the clients of One Hopeful Place?
Well, the need is still there, so it really hasn't impacted the comings and goings of the men that stay here. We have some that come in, some that go out. That has not been a barrier to continuation of services. Cold night, we do all the standard screening, temperatures, questions, and all that before people come in. The biggest impact has been on volunteerism. To come and stay in the shelter to help even for a few hours during the day, our volunteers have really gone to none. I mean, we
Sure.
went from a full complement to none
Right.
this year, and it's all because of. I mean, if you think about the guidelines, don't be with more than 10 people. Well, there's 17 over there,
Right.
and then a staff person, and then so you're talking 18, 19, 20 people. So just if you go by the guidelines that have been put out this year, that gives people a little pause. And so that this year has been our biggest challenge. Now we're really hopeful that now that the vaccines are out, that's all happening, that people are going to start feeling comfortable again, being around others. Of course, you still have to wear all the precautions, but we're hopeful. As far as our guys, they come and go as they always have, and the need is always here. And so thankfully that hasn't been impacted, but it has put a little more strain on how do you help people without the volunteers that we so rely on.
And Larry, don't you think, I mean, one of the things that I know I hear, the guys have really looked out for one another.
Yes.
Because we've had several of the guys who were very, very at risk. And they were so protective of, their family, that's their
Sure.
family now.
Sure.
And so they really look out for everybody. And so, they're careful about who they want coming in too, because they don't want
Yes, they are.
their folks getting sick.
Right.
And so it's been, even as the board members and everything, we don't go in. We don't unless and now everybody's gonna have to clean because we've all been there.
Right, right.
But
Right.
we respect that.
Right.
And I would be remiss if I didn't say we're also, we could use donations just like every other nonprofit.
Sure.
Absolutely.
All of that fell off. Every nonprofit is hurting.
Giving.
We
Yeah.
couldn't do fundraisers. We couldn't do the things that we normally do
Yes.
to get our name out there and say, hey, we're doing, we need some help.
Right.
Yes.
So,
Right.
we've been, fortunately, we were able to get some PPP money and some of that sort of stuff that has kept us going. And we've gotten some great donations. I don't want to say that we haven't, because we have. Our community is amazing. But there's always stuff, and you can see. I mean, you can look and see the water. You can imagine if we've got people here all night long,
Right.
and then just our regular folks, and
Right.
just even people are coming to do laundry. That's part of the day program. They're coming to take showers, do laundry, and get some stuff. So I mean, anybody that wants to send laundry detergent, any of that,
Right.
Yes.
our wish list. Think about what you do at home, what it takes to run your household,
Right.
and multiply it times 30 people.
Yes.
And that's what, that's kind of
What
what's
we
going
need.
on here.
Well,
So-
and one of the questions is, what will you need most when the kitchen is certified? Will you need food? Will you need cooks? Will you need people to teach individuals how to operate in
Yes.
professional
Yes, all of the above.
All of the above.
But from a practical
Okay.
standpoint, we could use some stainless steel shelving.
Okay.
We could use some pots and pans, of
Okay.
course, the
Yes.
goods, industrial.
Commercial,
some
industrial.
Pots and pans
So-
and utensils.
Utensils. I mean, it is
Okay.
it's a bare kitchen right now. So we can use everything again.
Right.
salt, pepper, spices, all of those, everything you would need to equip a kitchen. That's what we'll need. Measuring cups, measuring spoons,
Right.
things
Yeah.
like that.
Well, and one of the things that was mentioned is today we need a commercial coffee pot.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
For cold night, you know.
Okay,
So
right.
just that's just one of those little things,
Right.
And some of it, phase 2 opened to be cold night shelter.
Right.
We never got anybody. Obviously, no one got moved in.
Right.
And so we're learning what phase 2 really needs
Right.
through cold night. So so each week we get a list from the volunteers that say it would be nice to have this, and so to the extent that we can, we try to support. And the community's been generous. Like I say, they're bringing in coffee, they're bringing in creamer, and disposable silverware and
Utensils.
utensil, all of that.
Lisa.
Cups and-
See that microwave? That lovely microwave? Lisa brought us a microwave this
Oh,
week.
great. Yeah.
Because the
Yay.
cold night folks that prepare the meal said, we really need a microwave for those people that come in late to reheat. So Lisa, yay, jumped in and brought us a microwave.
So here's some more questions for
Sure.
you. How do you feed people now, and how will the kitchen change that?
Right now, the church is bringing meals.
Okay.
And how that will change it is that they will bring raw materials and prepare the meal here.
Gotcha.
And that'll be the biggest change,
Okay.
is that church ladies like to be able to make the meal.
Right.
And if they can have, when this is operational, that's what they'll do. They'll bring raw materials, or we'll have raw materials, they'll prep here. Right now, it all comes in those big chafing dish,
Right.
trays.
Right. Okay. Just a few more questions,
Sure.
and then we're going to turn it back over to Barbara and Teresa. How do the homeless hear about the services, and can women currently come on cold nights?
Yes, women can come on cold nights, and we are averaging anywhere from 8 to 10 women when we have those 30-plus nights. So being on the street as a woman, as you can imagine, is
Right.
extremely difficult.
Dangerous.
It's dangerous. It's unsafe. It's they come in with a lot of trauma. So, but yes, we absolutely have ladies here on cold night. And what was the other question?
Wait a minute, I have to find it.
Oh, how do they hear about us?
How do
How do they hear?
people hear about it, and how do they get out here?
We, how they hear about it is, of course, we have Facebook. We notify all of our partners, the police department, sharing and caring, HHA, everybody that works with it, the population. We try to let them know, and plus word of mouth. They know who to ask. Is there going to be cold nights? So
We notify the police. The
Yes.
Catholic Charities has a color system. They have a color I forget what color it is, but they have a colored paper they put in the window. And when they see that color in the window, they know cold night's on.
Okay.
And then the transport, you might have passed our bus on your way in.
Yes.
So if anybody has a commercial driver license, give us a call.
we
We desperately need people that can drive. And much to our chagrin, the person that's been rescuing us is one of our ladies at work who used to be a bus driver.
Okay.
Who knew? Okay, so we are totally gender neutral here. If you can drive one of these puppies, come on down.
Okay.
But we run a bus. It goes out and makes pickups down on First Street at First United Methodist, right? And they go down starting at 4:30,
I
right?
think 4 is the
Is it
first
4?
pickup, yeah.
And they do pickups and they bring them out and then they go back. We do now all of our COVID screening at the bus stop.
Okay.
And then we make arrangements with HHA for alternative placement if they have symptoms, which thankfully, knock on wood, we haven't had any.
Good.
But so that's how we get folks. Now, we're real excited that the Carolyn Ketchel with the county commissioners has been helpful with the transportation board and Emerald Coast Rider to get us a bus stop.
Oh,
That should be
wonderful.
piloting here shortly at 8:30, 12:30, 4:30 on buses. So on our cold nights, our folks can ride the buses to and from. So that will help. We are so excited about that.
Yes, yeah.
And that'll just help in general with our day programming to come out for that. So we're excited to get that bus stop out here. But right now, if you passed our bus, that's how we do it.
Okay.
And we have a Bridgeway van that we use on the days that we don't have someone with a CDL. We have Donna. We have a Donna. And we borrowed the bus from Trish. And so we have our little van here that we use when we don't have a driver for the bus.
Okay. Well, you guys have been amazing, and even though I can't see and hear the women who are in the meeting right now, I can imagine just the excitement, as well as for the members who were members during that 2018 year, the pride that we all feel in having been a part of making this possible. What can women in our community who want to do something for One Hopeful Place? You've mentioned shelving, you've mentioned food, you've mentioned equipment for the kitchen, you've mentioned sheets. What are some other things that people can contact you if they want to donate, or what they can do for you?
We can always use Walmart, Publix, gas gift cards, things like that. Any kind of a gift card is always welcome. Obviously, checks are always welcome. But cleaning supply, cleaning supplies in general, as well as, laundry detergent, fabric softener, we need storage bins. We need just those kinds of helpful things and more storage. We're going to have to, they have the little cubbies, but you saw those aren't secure.
Sure.
So when this is permanent, before we move anybody over here, we need to have some more, when we're going to have, more than 15 guys, we need to make sure everything is secure for them and that we've got, got proper things for them to be able to lock their goods. And
if you know anybody that's a gym that's going out of business or whatever that has gym lockers,
that'd be great.
we'd love some gym lockers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they can lock their valuables. I mean, that's
Sure.
mainly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Not clothing, but your cell phones, your wallet. Because even when you go shower, you want to have those
to
things
leave it.
secure. So
Yeah.
we're not talking huge, but gym lockers would be wonderful.
Okay.
That's,
Well, that's helpful.
And then, of course, volunteers. We always need volunteers.
Okay.
Always need volunteers.
always
so.
need volunteers.
So if you want to get involved with One Hopeful Place, if you have any of those items that you'd like to donate or contribute, please just reach out to Bonnie.
Yes.
And Bonnie, would you want to give people your phone number?
Yes, my phone number is 850-833-3975.
Okay.
We have a One Hopeful Place Facebook page.
Okay.
We have a website, Community Solutions of the Emerald Coast, Chamber of Commerce, is all places that we can connect the volunteer and make that communication happen. So
Excellent.
just about any way you can think of, we will get the word out. We've got a network of partners, so we look forward to hearing from the ladies and
Excellent.
appreciate everything that can be done.
Well, we appreciate the fact that you're willing to do it. It doesn't do us any good to have the members and have the membership dollars if there aren't community partners willing to put the work in and implement the grant project. And so we appreciate the fact that you guys have been willing to do that. And I'm thrilled to be able to share this afternoon with you. Thank you.